Right, the recording is underway. So, hi everyone, great to have you for yoga this evening. For those of you that might have raced or done some long runs yesterday, then hopefully this will be a welcome stretch out for the legs. So if you want to grab a cushion, hi to those of you who are joining live, don't worry, we haven't started yet. If you'd like to grab a cushion or a folded up blanket just towards the end, we're going to be doing a couch stretch. So just to protect the knee if you're on a hard floor. But otherwise, find a space, grab your mat, set your foam rollers and things to one side. And let's begin. We're going to start lying down. So if you've got space, coming down to your mat. And taking a moment just to settle on the floor. So legs out long. Arms are just down by your side. Palms can be up or down, whichever you prefer, maybe resting on the belly. Down for more grounding, palms upturned for more open. So find kind of what feels good for a posture for you today. You can close off the eyes, bring the eyes down to a soft gaze, if that feels better. If this is pulling into the low back as we settle just in a supine pose, laying on the floor with the back down. If it's pulling into the low back, bend the knees up, bring the knees into touch. So you're kind of knocking the knees together, the feet are out wider. And that kind of helps the low back connect better with the floor if there's any issues there. Otherwise, we are taking a moment just to settle, to arrive at your practice today, to take a moment on your mat as we start. Turn your attention inward, bring your attention to the breath, in through the nose, feel the belly rise with air, and exhale, let it go. Tuning into this steady rhythmic breath that we look for in our yoga practice. We're linking movement with breath, really powerful. So it's nice to bring some attention to that at the beginning of practice. So work through just a few more rounds of nice steady inhales and exhales. See if you can elongate the breath. So maybe starting inhaling for 2 and out for 2, maybe being able to build up to 4 or 5. Inhale as the belly rises, exhale, let it fall. And now bend up the knees, bring the soles of the feet to the floor. We're working through half bridge, so soles of the feet press down into the ground, palms press into the mat or the floor beneath you. As you press down, inhale, press through the feet, lift the hips, squeeze the glutes, the muscles around the bum to help push your hips up nice and high towards the ceiling. And exhale, let it go. Gently reconnecting the spine to the floor, knees stay bent. We're doing that twice more. Inhale, raise the hips up, squeeze the glutes, press down through the feet, press through the palms. Exhale, slowly laying the spine back down to the floor. And one more time, inhale and lift. We're going to do it twice more and bringing in the arms this time. As you exhale, let it go. Spine reconnects to the floor. And now this time, as you inhale, raise the arms overhead. So arms come up, back of the hands are touching the floor behind you, hips press up high. And exhale, bring the arms back so they're just straight ahead of you, coming back down to fall on the floor. Do that once more. Inhale, raise the arms as the hips push up high, press through the feet. And exhale, let it go. Bringing it back down. Keep the left knee bent. Like to take the right leg, extend it up towards the ceiling. So we're stretching through the hamstring. Hands can come to the back of the thigh. If you're super bendy or super loose hamstrings, you might be able to get the hands to up towards kind of the bottom of the knee, top of the calf. I'd like you to hold it where it feels good. Shoulders and head remain on the floor. Inhale and pull the leg in, holding it for 2 breaths. So we're just increasing a stretch. Once you've done 2 breaths, exhale, let it go. And once you've just eased off, so still keep a hold of the leg here, but you're just not pulling the leg deliberately in towards you. Maybe flex and point the foot, the right foot, and circle through the ankle, clockwise and anti-clockwise. And then we'll do it once more. Inhale, your foot can be flexed or pointed, and pull the leg in. Just to where feels good for you today in terms of stretching down the back of the leg. Exhale, let it go. Now take the right ankle over the left knee. We're coming into reclined pigeon or reclined figure 4 pose. So both knees are bent, right foot's flexed. An option to keep the legs down, or we lift, kick out through the left foot, to flex through the foot, and we take a grip behind the thigh. So we're stretching deep into the hip, the glute muscles as well, around the outer leg. You should be able to feel it quite deep in the hip area. So again, just pulling into where feels good for you today, not overstretching, but just finding some release here. One more breath. And then let it go. Left foot comes down, right foot comes down, and we switch it out. So now the right leg's bent, left leg kicks up towards the sky, flexing through the left foot, and we find that hamstring stretch again. Inhale, pull the leg in. To find a grip, interlace the fingers at the back of the leg, somewhere that feels good for you. And then exhale, ease off the stretch, keep a hold of the leg, flex and point the foot. Up and down, some circles, clockwise, anti-clockwise, just some light, gentle mobility, movement into the ankle joint. And then once more, inhale, bring the leg in. 2 breaths here, pulling it in, deepening the stretch down the back of the left leg, and exhale, let it go. Now take the left foot onto the right knee, and we find our figure 4 pose now, this time on the left side. So option to keep the leg here, flex through the left foot, or we kick through the right, lift up, so we're rolling the legs up off the ground, popping them up and taking a grip behind the thigh on the right side. Both feet are flexed, staying here for 2 breaths, steady inhales, pull it in as much as feels good for you, to where you can feel that stretch into the hip, the outer glute. Got deep muscles in the glute, and we're trying to work into all of them in this pose. So pulling the right leg in and then let it go. Now take the legs long. We're going to find banana pose, which is as simple as it sounds. So the legs are long ahead of you, so they're just towards the bottom of the mat. Back to where we started. I'd like you to inhale and raise the arms overhead without knocking anything. So the arms are above you. Right hand comes to left wrist and stretch up. Stretch the arms up. So you're still laying down here. And then take the feet. The hips stay where they are, and you're shimmying the feet over to the right side, and your arms do the same. So we're curving towards the right side of whatever room you're in, stretching through the left side body. You can cross the left leg over the right, so crossing at the ankle to introduce the kind of a deeper stretch into the IT band, the kind of outer edge of the left leg, and then release. Walk it back through center. You can ease off the grip on the wrist, swap it out. So left hand is coming to right wrist. Inhale to find length, reach the arms up ahead. And this time, shimmying the left feet, or the feet over to the left-hand side, and the arms go to, finding this curved banana shape on the left. And then option to cross the right leg over the left, if that feels good. One more breath here, using the left arm to pull the right arm over, and release. Come back through center. So now releasing off from the legs and the wrists, coming forward and up, we're finding cat-cow pose. So taking a moment to come through to a strong tabletop. So we find our strong tabletop position, wrists beneath shoulders, knees beneath hips. Lovely and firm grip onto the floor. Press the fingertips and the heel of the hand down. Inhale, drop the belly, look up, pull the chest through. Crown and tailbone reaches up to the ceiling, and exhale, round down. Tuck the chin to chest, really curl the tailbone under, press through the hands, arch through the spine. Inhale, look up, finding the strong cow pose once more. Pull the hands against the mat behind you, beneath you, looking up, gaze lift to the ceiling, tailbone reaching, stretching up behind you. Exhale, round down. So move through 2 more rounds of cat-cow with the pace of your breath. So inhaling to find cow pose. Exhale to round down. Press through the hands to increase the stretch across the upper back. Press through the knees, the feet as well, all contact points. And then inhale to come back through. Final round. And once you've moved through your final cat pose, pressing down with the hands, rounding the tailbone. Then we come back to a neutral spine. Let the big toes come together. Send the knees out slightly wider. Send the hips back. We're finding child's pose. So settling into child's pose, option to take the head down onto the floor, forehead comes down. If it feels tricky in the hips, a little tight today, you can keep the hips popped up slightly higher. but just make sure that the knees are wider than the feet. Gaze can be forward and lifted, arms stretching in front of you. Now coming forward, bring the body weight up. We're pushing up and back to downward facing dog. Press through the hands, curl up onto the toes. Inhale, hips up high, and walk out your downward facing dog. So it doesn't matter if the knees are bent or straight. We're lifting and lowering one heel at a time. Again, working into the back of the legs. Press the hips up high. Chest pushes through to thighs. Press through the hands and breathe. Now come to stillness. Look towards the hands. 1 foot at a time. Make your way to the front of your mat. And we're rolling up to find mountain pose. The head comes up last. Chin stays tucked. Rolling up to the front of your mat. Now mountain pose. From here, we're working through eagle. So with feet together, inhale, raise the arms overhead, let the palms touch. Exhale, take the arms out wide, sweep the right arm underneath the left, crossing at the elbows. Option to take back of hands together, palms touch, or hands to opposite shoulders. So we have choices here with the hands, finding what's comfortable. Bend the knees, send the hips back, sit down low, finding a low chair. Inhale, press the left foot down, raise the right, cross it over the left. Right toes can come to the floor, or the more that you cross them, you can explore wrapping the right leg around the left. So if balance feels a little off, you can drop the right toes to the floor. If it feels good, maybe wrapping it around. Wherever you are, draw the elbows away from the chest, really squeeze legs and arms together, and change, release. Let it go, arms touch once more overhead, palms together. Sweeping round, we'll do the same on the other side. So this time, left arm underneath right. An option to cross at the elbows here. Bringing the palms together, back of hands, touch, or hands to shoulders. Then inhale, sit down low, press down through the right foot, lift the left leg, and cross it over the right. Option to keep the toes on the floor for balance, or wrap it around the right leg. Seeing if one side's better than the other. Squeezing, we're compressing all major joints of the body in eagle pose. Squeezing arms and legs together, and change. Exhale, bring the palms to touch overhead once more, and back down by your side, mountain pose. Warrior two. So if you weren't at the front of your mat already, stepping back to the front of the mat, taking the legs out wide. So right toes facing forward, left toes turning in around 45 degrees. Check that the right heel is in line with the back foot. Deep lunge in the right leg. Arms out in line with shoulders, T-shaped arms. Lovely, nice strong warrior pose. Gazing over the front arm. Now inhale, and as you reach forward, take the right arm back behind you. We're clasping the hands if you can, or maybe taking a grip of forearms if the hands is a little too tight for the shoulders, the chest, and we're opening, rolling the shoulders back, opening through the chest. Keep the deep lunge in the right leg, lift the gaze. And release. Take the arms back to warrior two. Walk the back leg in, a little closer to the front, but not touching. Just shortening the stance as we come to take extended triangle. Right toes forward, left toe still turned in. T-shaped strong arms. Inhale, reach forward, keeping the hips where they are, but you're bumping the left hip back slightly, reaching the right arm forward, and windmill them round. Strong arms, strong legs. Left arm reaches up, right arm down, press through the feet, gaze lifts up towards the left thumb. If that feels good for the neck, if not, you can look down. And change. Exhale, come back through to center. Hands to hips. Take the left foot to face the same direction as the right, but now we're on a narrow train track. So the right foot is slightly more to the right than the left. So a bit of space here between the legs. Hands onto hips, we're finding pyramid pose. So both legs are straight, press and anchor down through both feet. You may need to shift the back leg in slightly. Once we're into the pose, just see how the stretch feels. Inhale, lengthen, stand up tall, reach the crown to the ceiling. Exhale, hinge forward. Both hip points stay level. Plug the right hip back, left hip forward, and pause when you have a flat back. As soon as you feel the spine rounding, don't go any further. Breathe belly to spine. Your core is holding you here. Breathing into the core muscles, press down through the feet. Feel a stretch down the back of the leg on the right side. So right leg really stretching deeply, left leg stretching too. And change. Inhale, come back through center. Now step the left leg back just a couple of inches more to find a high lunge. So we're lifting up on the left heel, we're up on the left toes, high lunge on the right side. Again, maintaining a deep lunge on the right, knee stacked over ankle. Really strong. Inhale, raise the arms overhead, palms touch. Draw the arms down so we find these lovely strong cactus arms, opening through the chest, drive the heels back. If that feels too much, pop the hands back on the hips. Once more, inhale, arms up, palms touch. And exhale, draw them down. So lovely right angles with the elbows, fingertips pointing up, opening through the chest, the shoulders. Hands to hips, and then working our way back down so the hands are onto the floor. We're stepping back to plank pose or half plank. Wherever we are, we're engaging through the tummy muscles, so really keeping a nice tight core. Press down through the hands, hips are lifted, and then lower down to the floor. So belly, chest connects back to the floor. Inhale, lift, baby cobra. Hands press down, lift the chest, peeling up off the floor, press down through the legs, the feet. Exhale, release. Forehead to the floor. Inhale, push up and back to find downward facing dog. So we're back here, heels are driving back. Coming to stillness, maybe a couple of walks out first. Press down through the hands, biceps by the ears, gazing back through your legs behind you. Nice steady breaths. Look towards the hands, step through the left leg this time. We're finding warrior two on the left. Right toes turn in as the right foot anchors down behind you. Left knee drawing forward, finding that deep, strong lunge. Arms out in line with shoulders. Warrior two, breathe. Inhale and exhale. On your next inhale, reach the arms behind you. We're finding this chest opener stretch once more. So interlace the fingers, or maybe taking a hold of forearms and rolling the shoulders back. One more breath here. Press down through the feet, lift through the crown, and release. Take the arms back out to parallel. Walk the back foot in, finding extended triangle on the left side. So right toes are turned in, left leg straightens. Lovely strong arms. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, windmill the arms down. Left hand, back of left hand comes to left leg. Right arm reaching up, gazing up towards the thumb or down towards the big toe on the left foot. Finding balance, breathing steadily. And change. Come back through center. Hands to hips, pyramid pose on the left leg. So we're stepping it in. We're shortening and widening the stance. Find that anchoring, find that grounding through both feet. When you're here, nice strong legs, press down, inhale, lengthen, and hinge forward. Plug the left hip back, right hip forward to keep them nice and level. Coming down with a flat back and pause when you're about halfway. Gaze slightly in front of your mat, press down through the feet, breathe into the core, breathe belly to spine, holding you here in midair. Really great work for the core. Inhale, come back through center. Taking that right leg back, we're moving it back just a touch. Deep lunge stays in the right leg, in the left leg, sorry. As we find high lunge on the left side. So wiggling the right foot back until you can feel that stretch through the front of the hip on the right side. Inhale, raise the arms overhead if you can. Palms touch, draw them back down. Cactus arms, stretching through the shoulders, through the chest. If this feels too much, if we're too wobbly here, hands go back onto hips. Otherwise, inhale once more. Arms overhead. Exhale, bring them back down, cactus arms. Gaze lifts, chest lifts, press down through the feet and release. Bring the hands forward. You guessed it, we're stepping back to plank. Left leg goes back. Option to take full plank or half plank. Pressing through the hands, keeping really nice and tight through the belly. And exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift, baby cobra. Press the feet and the legs into the mat. Lift up, engage the glutes, lift the gaze. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, up and back, downward facing dog. So this is our last down dog for today. Pressing the heels back, really press through the hands, strong legs, strong arms. Look towards the hands. And now we're taking the feet forward, bring them in, and we're lowering down now to find staff pose. So in your time, getting yourself onto the floor, and we will meet in staff pose. So we're down on the floor, legs outstretched in front of you, slight bend in the knees. This is our grounding reset posture, our seated version of mountain pose. Draw the shoulder blades together, shoulders melt from the ears, palms press into the mat, sit up nice and tall, flex through the feet, steady the breath. Inhale and exhale. Now bend the knees a lot, we're bringing them in more to find our seated forward fold. So toes still flex. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead, bringing them forward, taking a grip of the feet. So fingers to the back of the toes, thumbs can come to the mound of the big toe. Gripping onto the feet to help you sit up tall, pull the chest through. And then when you're ready, with the belly glued to the thighs, try and take the heels further away from the body. So we're starting to straighten through the legs, but this is not really about the legs. So it is a secondary stretch, but primarily this is a low back stretch. So we're feeling a stretch through the spine. So really pulling against the feet, keeping the spine nice and long, chest draws down towards the knees, keeping them as bent as you need to. And if it feels good to walk the heels out, then you can walk them out to stretch deeper into the hamstrings. But you should feel this nice stretch through the mid back, low back. Keep the gaze lifted. 2 more breaths here, okay? See if you can wiggle the heels out slightly more. Or maybe it feels good to have the knees bent and you focus on pulling the chest through, pulling the body down. The elbows point down to the floor. And change. Release, reach beyond the toes. Bring yourself back up through center, palms come down. Cross the legs, bring yourself forward. We're finding puppy pose. So knees are bent, we're kind of lifting the hips up off the knees. This is similar to child's pose, but the hips are high and the knees are tracking, the feet are directly behind the knees. So the toes aren't coming in, the toes are behind you. It's as though your knees are on train tracks and your palms come down to the floor and we melt the chest down. So it doesn't matter how high you are, you want to be feeling a stretch through the upper back, around the shoulders and the chest. So maybe that you can melt the head down, forehead comes down to the floor and the chest comes down. Or maybe we're staying slightly more lifted. So stretching here through the shoulders, 2 more breaths, nice and steady. Then come forward, look towards the hands. Keep the arms straight. Bringing the body weight through. And we're lowering down all the way to the floor for a scorpion stretch. So belly and chest down. The right arm is going out in line with the right shoulder. So just to the right of you, the right leg stays straight. Right arm out, right leg straight. We're pressing the left palm into the floor, opening the left hip and taking the left foot over to the floor behind you. The head can rest down. The left arm is bent, palm pressing to the floor. And you should feel this in the shoulder And nice, it's a nice opener for the hip too. We're staying here for a good moment or two. Let's stay for 5 full breaths, and nice and steady. Inhales and exhales, really stretching into the shoulder, opening the hip behind you, stretching through the leg. And once you've done 5 with control, bringing the left leg back through, letting it go. We'll do the same on the other side. So this time left arm extends out in line with the shoulder. Right arm presses to the floor, left leg stays extended. And we're opening through the right side this time. The right toes maybe reaching the floor behind, or maybe we're keeping it more propped up. Maybe not opening the hip so far, but just finding a point where you can hold it and feeling a stretch through the inside shoulder, the front shoulder on the left side. So 2 more steady breaths here. Really feeling that through the shoulder girdle, the rotator cuff, and all the intricate muscles, the 8 muscles that make up the shoulder. It's great to stretch them in all directions. So it's a lovely one for the front body. Exhale and bring the leg back through. Now I'd like you to find a blanket if you need one, or a cushion if you're on hard floor. We're going to take a couch stretch. So you can roll up your mat, which I might do as well. We're going to take the mat over to a wall. So you can do this on the side of a sofa or a piece of kind of spare wall that you've got with radiators or anything in front of it. So rolling up the mat is quite a nice way to protect the knee. So right leg stepping forward. And the left knee, so make sure you've got some space first and you can move further kind of closer to the wall behind you. We've got a right angle with the knee, and then you gently guide the left knee back. So the top of the left foot is resting on the wall behind you, or on the sofa, or a chair, or whatever you've got, a cupboard door, whatever you can find. So anchoring down, pressing down through the right foot. We're going to stay here we're going to do a minute on each side. There's a really nice deep stretch into the knee. Keeping the hips level, hands can be on hips or resting on the right thigh. We'll let you know when we've done a minute. And it may be that once we've been here for a few breaths, you feel that you can edge a little bit closer towards that wall. So feeling it down the front of the left leg and into the hip too. Try not to lose balance if you lose your gaze and lose your focus. So we're almost there, almost in a minute, about 15 more seconds. Brilliant. Now swap sides, gently coming out. It can feel a little bit kind of sharp on the knee sometimes when you come out of it. So just take the hands down. Again, this is why I kind of want something soft to kneel on. Right knee bends, right foot against the wall, and switch it out, left foot forward. So knee over ankle, hands on hips or resting on the left thigh. And some nice steady breaths here. Just about 10 seconds or so already. So we'll stay here for another minute. And I will let you know when we're done. So another nice one to do, going back to one of our earlier poses, if you have time, and nice one to do in the evening after a run, is legs. It's called legs up the wall pose. And you literally, similar to this, get close to a wall. You can roll up a blanket, or if you've got a bolster, you can pop it under the low back, extend the legs, flex the feet, and just let the legs rest up the wall. It's really great for circulation, moving the blood around the ankle, the feet, the ankles and the feet, and the lower legs as well. And we are done with that side. So bring the hands back down, release off the right knee. If you had your mat folded up, Then we would like to unfold it just as we come to close our practice and move into our final couple of postures. If you had a blanket or a cushion, you might want to keep it for the head to lay down on. Bringing yourself back down to the floor and reconnecting to the ground. So just taking a moment to settle here. Keep the left leg long. Inhale and bring the right knee in, pointing towards the armpit. Right foot flexes, left foot flexes. Interlace the fingers beneath the kneecap. Pull the knee in towards you. Pull the leg in closer. Left hand to outside of the right knee, guiding it over to the left. Right arm can extend out in line with shoulder. You could cactus the arm, whatever feels good. So our balancing supine twist to close our practice. On the right side, nice work into the spine and the hip here. Then bring it back through center. Right leg goes away. Kick that one away as you inhale and bring the left knee in. Again, flex through both feet. Squeeze the knee in towards the armpit, not the face. So we're at a diagonal position here. Nice work is squeezing into the hip flexor on the left side. And then again, guiding this time over to the right. You know what to do. Take the hand to the knee, gently bringing it over. The head, the neck, the shoulders stay down in our supine twist. If you feel the left shoulder lifting, bring the knee back up. Cactus the left arm, have it out long, just see what feels good. So one more breath here. Inhale and exhale. Guiding the knee back through, squeeze in, curl up into a ball, squeeze the legs in, the knees in. Nice tight grip around the base of the knees. Maybe bringing the head up too. Taking any final movements that you'd like to, and then let the legs go long, the arms go long. So relaxing through the ankles, the feet. Let the arms be relaxed and fall by your side. Bringing the gaze down or closing the eyes. Let the shoulders feel heavy. We've done some strength building there, as well as some nice stretches into the hip muscles, the hamstrings, the quads. We've stretched the legs quite a lot today, and some kind of chest opening work as well, working into flexibility of the muscles in the chest, around the shoulders. So hopefully feeling good after that. Maybe taking a quick body scan here. So start at the head. Traveling down the body, just seeing if you can relax a little more through the face, release through the jaw, the eyes, the brow. Let the shoulders feel heavy, the hips, the low back, let it connect to the floor. The legs have done some really good work. Let them feel heavy. Relaxing just a fraction more if you can. Returning to that lovely steady breath, in through the nose and out, filling the belly with air, and let it go. Now bringing some light movement into fingers and toes, circling the ankles and wrists, bringing some energy back through. Then when you're ready, bend the knees in your own time, or you can stay on the floor if you'd like to. Pushing yourself through to a seated position. So nice and slowly, bringing yourself back through, head to center. You could stay on the floor, kneeling, cross-legged, whatever feels good. Inhale, raise the arms overhead. Palms draw through center of the chest, option to keep them here or drop them onto the knees. Thank you for joining me for your practice today and for giving yourself the time to stretch and have a nice flow with me today. It's a pleasure teaching you. Namaste.
Thank you, Georgie.